This is an advanced sawmill technique. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. If you do it and screw up your sawmill, don't call me up and say I owe you a new sawmill, because it ain't gonna happen. Thanks for visiting our sawmill. We've already got several packs walnut sawn up. This is the last log. This is hobby hardwood walnut. Look at how pretty this stuff is. So you guys know, in order to do high grade sawing, you have to level either the bark or the pith, and you've got to dodge knots, so you have to level the logs. But you guys that have been watching a lot of my videos know I really don't spend a lot of time using toe boards. Who has had toe boards, y'all raise your hand, and forgot to lower your toe boards and then you cut a wedge? Raise your hand if you hadn't done that. I don't believe it. Every single person who's ever used toe boards has forgot to take them down and cut a wedge. And when I'm sawing, some of these boards coming off may be $250 a piece, depending on species. And if I make a bad cut because I forgot to lower my toe boards, it's $250 on this board, it's $250 on that board. I just lost $500. It's stupid. We don't like to do that. So one of the best ways to not forget to put your toe boards down is don't use them. Use the other hydraulics that you have on the sawmill. Use your clamp and use your log roller, if you got one, or anything else that you've got hydraulic, to raise either this end of the log or that end of the log off the bed to level it. You're gonna look at me and go, well, if these two are fixed, how am I gonna be able to raise this end or raise that end on command? And after I sneeze, I'll tell you. So another big question that always comes up is, which end of the log do you want to load towards the sawmill operator? Some people say load the big end of the sawmill operator. Some people some people say load the small end of the sawmill operator. And I'm going to tell you something I have never heard anybody say. Hobby Hardwood, this is what we do. I'm going to tell you, load the log so that the end that needs the toe board is the one that you can raise and hold with your particular sawmill's hydraulics. The goal is, don't use your toe boards. It's slow. You can blow hydraulic lines, and you'll forget to leave them up and you'll lose money on them. This is important. If you rotate with your toe boards up and you start slamming that log on that toe board, you're going to blow out your hydraulic line. But as a general rule, you should always drop your toe boards and then rotate. Look, it even shook the camera there. If you're going to drop that big old honking log on your toe boards, it may not happen the first time, it may not happen the 100th time, but sooner or later, you will pop that hydraulic line, or you'll break a fitting or an O-ring or something. So in my case, the chain turner there. If I want to raise that end of the log, I will load the log slightly this way. That way I can get under it with a 2-plane clamp, and that way I can get under it with a chain turner. Basically, I can jack it up and pinch it. If I want this end of the log to be able to raise up, I don't really want to use the toe board. I mean, I can, but I will load the log on the sawmill so that this end is shorter, that end is longer, so when I raise up on this, then it will raise this end. Does that make sense? I mean, basically what it comes down to is a little bit of pre-planning. When you load the log, can delete an entire way to screw up. So you may be saying, what happens if the hydraulics slip or the log slips? And that would be a mistake. while you're practicing and kind of getting some confidence in it. At that point, put the toe board up and see how stable it is. For that matter, you can drop the toe board just a hair and then make sure that everything's holding. This is an advanced sawmill technique. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. If you do it and screw up your sawmill, don't call me up and say I owe you a new sawmill, because it ain't gonna happen. What I will say is this is an extremely effective technique. It deletes an entire way to screw up high dollar wood. I'm using this on my LT70. I used to do this on my LT40. So let me just show you some stuff. And I've loaded enough logs to know if I get anywhere in this area, I can raise that end, the far end, with my chain turner. So you can see how I can raise that up. I can come in here and pinch it with my clamp. I can actually drop my chain turner, and that side is going to stay suspended. So I can do the same thing here. I can get under with the log clamp, basically just raise it up. I know I got that thing. I'm catching it pretty much right on the round edge between the bark and the flat wood, and that thing, I got it. If you don't believe it, watch this. That thing is not moving. Look, I don't like putting my hand under there, but you get the idea, right? I may bring the chain turner up just to give it a little bit of a pinch. You can also drive a tooth in like that. See how I just did that? So I'm using the teeth as a wedge. That's not a bad thing because it's gripping the bark. See how it's not digging into the wood, it's gripping the part I'm gonna saw off anyway. I'm jacked off the bed. I'm not gonna put my hand under this one because somebody will say, hey, stupid, quit putting your hand under the log. As you can see, and I'm not using my toe boards. Now, can you do this on your sawmill? I don't know. I can do it on mine. I could do it on an LT40. That's where I figured this out. So if you don't feel comfortable with this technique, you can always go back and use your toe board. But again, that's good for practicing. But the reality of it is, if you're running, grab in there, get on the corner, just raise it up. You got it. It ain't going anywhere. You don't need this toe board. You don't need no stinking toe boards. So anyway, it's that quick. Extremely effective technique. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody else on the YouTube give this technique out. Anyway, let's keep going. I need to get some sawing done. Getting some transverse or shear stress on these boards. Not bad. Look at these pretty boards. Big, big wide ones too. Wide and flat. Look at that, guy. It's almost 14 inches wide, almost 15 inches wide. We got some beautiful walnut. We got a couple knots in those boards, but otherwise these walnut boards are dead clean. Please like and subscribe. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good day. Here helping Martha. There's Martha. She's working. It's nice in here. It's in the shade. Chippy's protecting us. That's gorgeous. Zebra wood. Comes from Africa. Tastes like chicken. That's exactly right. We also have leopard wood. Comes from Africa. Do you know what leopard wood tastes like?
Chicken. What does it taste like?
Zebra wood.
Zebra. Ah, there you go. That's good.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
All right, let's hit the road. Thanks for visiting our sawmill. Click on the links above to see more of our videos.